Genuinely.
I'm not playing.
Genuinely.
I am a Palestinian. I am a Palestinian.
Go on.
Yeah.
And let the gentleman
I am a Palestinian. No, I am Palestinian. And Arab.
let him say something. Let him say something.
Before 1960s, they were called Arabs.
Okay.
Let him say what he wants to say. Let him speak first.
There's no
Okay.
in Arabic.
My dad born in a city called Lid. Where's your dad from?
My dad.
Where does he born? London. Where's your granddad born?
Poland.
My granddad. No. I'm just explaining something. My granddad also in a city called Lid. Now you mentioned something that Palestinians, whenever they go, they create a problem, right?
Why isn't he living in Israel?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's.
Now let's focus on one thing at the time. You said no. Please. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a minute to speak. You said no. Don't.
That's now Israel. That's fine. But
No.
they were not Palestinians. They were Arabs.
No. Listen to me. Let's focus on one point. Okay. You speak.
About our parents.
You're speaking to a guy.
Okay.
I don't recognize Israel, and I will never do. Never ever to recognize what's so-called Israel. I don't. Even my kids will never recognize Israel. You know why? Because when you believe in something, it's yours. You can't just give it away because I'll tell you how it's mine. In the Jewish book, holy book, you are forbidden from having a land in Palestine. That's mentioned. You can go to any temple, ask them, they will tell you. You are forbidden. It's not the Jewish. The Jewish is fine. It's the Zionist. I don't have a problem with Jewish. I have a problem with Zionists. Jewish? No. It's not the same.
Is it really?
No. My friend, come on. Do you want to have a conservative?
It's a more palatable way of saying Heil Hitler is a free Palestine.
Well.
Let me speak.
You are shifting the goalposts.
Let me finish.
Come on.
I don't have. Listen.
Zionism just means.
Let him finish what he's saying. He's talking quietly and calmly.
Listen. Jewish, like a Christian, like Buddhist, like Muslims, like any other religion. Okay. The Zionists use the word Jewish just to mix up the situation in Palestine for everyone. It's not the Jewish, listen to me, it's the Zionists, okay? How many Jewish against the Zionist government in Israel now? What's so-called Israel? No, how many Jewish people demonstrate against the government of Israel? So they are not Muslim, they are Jewish. Now you're telling me, now you are telling me, we Arab.
You ask a question, let me give you my answer.
I didn't finish what I'm saying. Just give me 2 minutes. Now, in the old days, Jewish and Palestinian lived together.
No.
Yes.
Really?
They're Jewish in Morocco now or not? They're Jewish in Algeria or not? They're Jewish in Iraq or not?
No,
there is. I live in that region. You don't. I live.
The Jewish Nakba of the Arab
listen.
countries.
Real Jewish.
You promote
My
the
friend.
Don't ignore the Jewish
white
Nakba from
racist
the Arab
Jew.
countries. There were about between
Well,
7
here,
and
Juden.
800,000 Jews
Shut up.
that were expelled from Iraq,
Two
from
world
Morocco,
wars.
from
The
Egypt,
third one's
from
coming,
Syria,
Iranian
from
telling
Lebanon.
you.
Yet Jews in all of these areas before 1948, you had between 7 and 800,000 Jews, and after 48 they were expelled. In the first 20 years, not all of 48 in the 50s, but in the first 20 years of the State of Israel, between 7 and 800,000 Jews were expelled from the Arab countries, from the ones I just mentioned. All of these, there used to be thriving Jewish communities.
Jews been
They're
expelled
gone
everywhere.
now. But hang on. But let's talk about that. When Jews were living in Muslim countries, they had to pay the jizya. The point of jizya, as it says in the Quran and the Hadith, is to humiliate the Jews. That is the point. You can use tell me the Arabic word, what it means. It was a jizya.
I pay jizya too. I pay jizya too.
Why? What's the point of jizya?
It's like tax here.
No, it's not.
No.
Muslims don't pay
Listen,
jizya.
you've been treated like us. I pay 2%. Listen, I pay 2.5%.
Are you Muslim?
Yes,
Then
you
you
pay
don't
2.
pay jizya. Don't be honest, if that's possible.
My friend, don't teach me about my religion. Listen
pay
to me.
jizya.
I am not. Listen.
do not pay jizya. You
Listen.
pay sadaqah.
My friend.
Okay, there's one side issue.
Jizya is you, like tax for me. You are equal to me. You pay the same way I pay. Listen, There's Jewish in Morocco now or not? Why they are not expelled? I am asking you.
Tell me, do you pay Muslims do not pay Jews?
Okay,
I mean, this is
point,
Google.
however,
There's
was-
1929.
You were
You had the
saying-
massacre in Hebron, where the Arabs came in the same way. Actually, it just wasn't at this kind of scale. But we're talking about almost 60 people killed, hands chopped off, stabbed, murdered with the most barbaric ways, just like we've seen now. This happened in 1929. They were not Zionists; they were Jews.
Hang on, but just take the hearing.
You mentioned we expelled the Jewish. The Jewish in Morocco now. Why they not being expelled? The Jewish in Syria. Why are they not being expelled?
Jews in Syria, what are you
Listen,
talking
there
about?
is some Jewish in Syria. Listen, my friend.
handful?
There's Jewish. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's Jewish in Iraq. Why not being expelled?
Three Jews.
Listen.
3 Jews out of 200,000.
Can I finish?
What are you talking about?
Listen, can I finish? The people who try to mix Jewish and Zionist, okay, they are playing in favor of the Zionists. The Zionists themselves, or the Israeli government, they always use the word Jew to get them involved in Palestine. It's nothing to deal with Jewish. It's the Zionist regime. Whether you want to accept it or not, Zionists who believe they are above the humanity. We are the chosen people. God gave.
All Jews believe that. That's the basis
No,
of Judaism.
that's not true.
Yes.
That's not true. Well, then why
the
they?
Orthodox Jews that you like, you
No,
know, the beloved
no.
Orthodox Jews,
And
they
they-
believe that the Jews.
My friend, my friend.
According to you,
No, it's true.
what is the difference between Zionism and Jews?
It's very simple. Judaism is a religion, and it's a tribe and a religion. So it's a
Zionism?
group of people. Zionism is a political belief that the Jews have the right to self-determination in the land of Zion. Zion is just a synonym for Jerusalem and all of
they
Israel.
were gonna
It's
have-
like saying-
they were gonna have
it's like
Israel
saying,
in
you
Uganda.
said-
It's
like
Said
saying-
earlier on,
it's like hang
there's
on,
no
it's like saying-
difference between the Jews and
I said-
Zionists.
I
That's what
said,
you
for
said.
all intents and purposes, the vast majority of Zionists are Jews, and many Jews, probably most Jews, see themselves as Zionists, and
I don't think that's true,
you
actually.
almost always, inevitably, invariably, when you have people anti-Zionist, it's just a more palatable, more PC way of being anti-Jewish. Zionism has got nothing to
Basically,
do
the
with
man here is saying he
Zionism
doesn't
got
agree with
Can I
Zionism.
tell you
He
something?
doesn't agree with the political project of Zionism. As a Jewish state.
What does Zionism mean?
Listen to me. Can I tell you
He's
something?
making it into
Listen,
like
listen,
supremacy,
listen.
Elders of Zion.
Okay,
Zionism.
listen.
There's
Can I?
Opposing the Israeli state is what he's saying.
No, he said, what is Zionism?
No, the Israeli state. What is it now in the? But listen to me. Let me tell you something. I want to explain for you something. It's important for me to explain it for you or for any Zionist in this world. I am a Palestinian, okay? And my dad, my granddad, or my ancestor. That's me. That's me. Allow me to finish. In my, like, that's me. I am just letting you know, and maybe the guys he's recording. For me, as a Palestinian, there will be never a state called Israel. It's my country. Okay, it's maybe now, but it's my country, and we will get it back now, tomorrow, or any time. We will never.
Get it back because it never
We
was
will.
yours.
We
You
will
can't get it
never.
back.
Allow
Back
me
implies
to.
that
Allow
it
me to
never
finish.
was.
We will never give 1 inch of it. That's why I'm saying to you, or to anyone who
Say
lives
this as many times you
in
want.
one so-called
Say we'll get
Israel,
it back.
do not build a future there because you have no future. Do you understand? So, if the Jewish want to come and worship, they are more than welcome. Okay, but they have no right to own it.
So
Of
Jews can go
course,
up on Temple Mount and pray.
they can. Why not? Why not?
Are you saying?
Why not?
Are you saying that the Jewish settlers who arrive, for example, from Boston or from New York, land in Israel, get paid money to move into certain areas and take land from Palestinians? That's okay, is it?
But hang on.
Is that okay?
From what
Settlers,
Palestinians are
Jewish
taking?
settlers.
They're not taking from any Palestinians. What
They
are you
are.
talking about? No, they're not. No, they're not. The problem that people have with hang on. The problem that people have with settlers in the West Bank is they're taking what we call so-called Palestinian land as in the collective, not private land, because for some reason the West Bank has to be Judenrein. Jews are not allowed to live in the West Bank. A Jew can live in England. Jews can live in France. maybe not, not nowadays, but Arabs can live in Israel, but for a Jew to live in the West Bank is somehow colonialism, somehow taking something away. They're not taking pride.
The state of Israel is colonialism.
I'll tell you what I'm saying.
The state
What
of
you keep
Israel is
conflating-
colonialism.
I'll tell you what.
You said something in the beginning is very, very important. What you said is complete lie. You said the Palestinian, wherever they go, they create a problem.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I'll tell you something. Most of the merchants in Jordan are Palestinian. The economy in the hand of Palestinian in Jordan. In Syria, they are most of them businessmen in Damascus
Why do you keep
and the
your
Sham.
problem?
Listen
Why
to me.
keep your
In
problem?
Egypt, lots of them own businesses. The most educated people on earth, according to their own, they are the Palestinians. All of my family, all of my listen, all of my family, listen to me, no, I'm telling you, all of my family, they are educated, they have degrees. All what I'm trying to say to you, wherever we go, there's something in the Palestinian belief, and I am one of them. We have only one thing to fight for, is the land and your certificate, your education. Without education, we are nothing, okay? So that's why whenever we go, we actually build. In Jordan, there's 8-9 million Palestinians.
So why was Yasser Arafat
I'll tell
expelled?
one second. There's 8-9 million Palestinians. Now you said something. You said no one wants the Palestinians, right?
Black September, Jordan.
You said no
tell me
one.
about that.
I'll tell you. You said no one wants the Palestinian. That's completely not true. I'll tell you why. No one of the Arab countries wants the Palestinian to leave because they want them to hold on into their land. Now I'll give you an example. Now the Israelis, they want to expel them to Egypt, right? To Sinai. The Egyptian refused. The Jordanian refused. Yeah? That not because they don't want them. We have actually, you are surrounded by enemies around you. They want them to grip into their hand. And the Palestinians, they don't want to leave anyway.
Another wall in Egypt and not to lie at anyone.
Can I ask you, by what mechanism do you imagine that Israel will be able to resolve this problem?
Well, I'm not so sure that the problem can be resolved. But if,
In other words, what?
but if there is any possibility of resolving, I mean, just the Gaza issue at the moment. I mean, it's complex, been an ongoing
just
issue.
talking about Gaza, he's
But
talking about the general
But
situation
the
of
Gaza,
I'll tell you something.
it's to completely annihilate Hamas and insert a liberal government, a government
A baby that Israel created, yes.
that can actually have some kind of process. For example, the same way that Jordan and Egypt and more recently the Emirates and the Abraham Accords have had normalization processes, peace processes. Whether they like each other or not is irrelevant, but they can coexist.
Yes.
So, in fact, that is what Israel tried to do in 2005 when they pulled out. They gave everything to the Arabs, the Palestinians there, and they said, let them.
You gave a vision as to how you
Do you want to eliminate Hamas?
Yes.
That's what you say.
Listen, not the Navy SEALs, American, not the SAS, the British forces, not Navy SEALs. Get any troops, any soldiers from around the world, you will never ever kill a belief, okay? You will never ever manage. Show me one country right now fought the same way Hamas fought, and you still 60 days you couldn't get anything.
ISIS
fought Hamas?
No, ISIS fought in the same way, same
ISIS is-
barbarism,
no.
the same evil
Listen.
people.
ISIS, listen to me.
Is
We
it
know
not
who funds you,
barbarism? Is it not
please.
barbarism to blow up thousands of young kids? It's not barbarism.
No, not in the same way. And anyone.
You know when you talk about Hamas, when you
Most people in the world do.
when you talk about Hamas, you talk about every Palestinian is a Hamas. I'm telling you the truth. Every single Palestinian is a Hamas.
Well, there you go.
That's why, no, that's why I'm
Palestinians
saying to you, no, you know why? Because,
Yeah.
listen, you can't give me half of your money in your wallet. You won't give me that. Why I should share something with you?
It's not yours, it never was yours.
It's mine.
It
You
never
say
was
it's
yours.
not, but it's mine, actually.
How?
I'll tell you how.
Yeah.
I gave you example in the beginning, and I'll tell you one more thing. I told you in your book, you are forbidding from having a land in Palestine. Not only that, how on earth you speak a different language? Listen, you speak a different language.
He's
You
not
can
Israeli,
be
by the way.
no, I know. But I'm saying to him, we talk about Israel. You can be in the middle of the heart of the Muslim nations. It doesn't make sense.
Judaism existed.
I didn't say no.
1.5
I didn't say.
like,
I didn't say
1,500
no.
years
I
or
didn't
more
deny
before
that.
Islam came to. In fact, what Islam did is they built their mosque on the site of our holy temple, the holiest site in Judaism. They went and built a mosque, and yet when a Jew goes there to pray, he's arrested, but even just for going up there, the Arabs, the Muslims see that as a desecration. Desecration of what? Of the mosque that they built on the top of, on the site of our temple. But hang on, to be very clear, let's be very clear with the history. In 1948, 1947,
there is an incredible history to this.
There was no owner to the land. This was not. There was no Palestinians. In fact, if you look at the partition plan,
He said 48.
if you look at the partition plan,
Pre-Balfour.
If you're looking at the partition plan, you will see that what was proposed was Jewish state and Arab state, not Palestinian, Arab, because there was no such identity as Palestinian. In fact, if you look at the money or the passport, it said Palestine, and in Hebrew, Aleph Yid, Eretz Yisrael, land of Israel.
What was the claim of the Jews?
I'm asking you.
The claim of the Jews is because our ancestral homelands. There was a Jewish kingdom.
Let me just make a little point. Okay. Let me just make one little point. Okay. So there was no state of Israel. Israelis and Arabs existed around that site. The history of that area is a war-torn, backward, illiterate, and just extraordinarily tribal region. Okay, from the little that I know, there was no state there before the British colonial declaration of Balfour in, when was it, 1918?
No, it was a decolonisation.
That was, but it was actually a colonisation.
No, it was a decolonisation.
And who were the biggest? Who were?
It was an Ottoman colony. Let me say two.
Let me make 2 points. Let me make 2 points. So, who were the biggest supporters? They weren't the Jews. It weren't the Jews. It was the British state and other states that supported that. Okay, and the French state supported that. Yes, they made it with that sort of language, but it was clearly not Jewish backed. Who was the biggest protesters to the Balfour Declaration?
Arabs.
Wait, can I talk to
It was the British Board of Deputies. The British Board of Jewish Deputies. The British Board of Jewish Deputies marched on the street against the Balfour Declaration.
It's like
Let this guy come in. Let this guy come in.
That's fine.
discussion with only civilized? We're going to talk?
Okay.
He's talking.
At what point do you start calling yourself Palestinians, not Arabs?
Listen, Golda Meir herself, she has a Palestinian passport.
Yes, Palestinian. No.
One second. She been given a Palestinian. Listen to me. No.
Yes, Aleph Yid. Look at the pictures.
Okay.
Hebrew letters. Palestinian, Aleph Yid, Eretz Yisrael. And in fact, the only reason it was in brackets and just the initials Aleph Yid, the initials EY for Eretz Yisrael, land of Israel, instead of written out, was because of the British. Because the British had.
Okay, I'm asking you now. You're saying it's belonged to the Jewish, this land.
Yes.
Yeah? Who gave it to them?
The Jews.
Who gave it to them? Who gave it to them? Yeah.
Was that legal?
One second. Who gave it to them? One second. لحظة شوي. Who gave it to them?
Simple. It's actually it's more than a sentence. It's a paragraph, a short paragraph. The Jews had a kingdom there that lasted for about 1,300 years.
Okay.
After the Jews were expelled by the Jews were colonized by various nations. It was colonized by the Romans, then by Byzantines, by various nations. It was never made a sovereign country. It was always a colony up till the Ottoman Empire, which was an Ottoman colony. After the Ottomans gave it up, there were no owners. The British were just the rulers. They had a mandate. That means that they were given the power to rule over it for now. But it was just given to the hang on. But the Ottomans, it was an Ottoman colony.
Come on, listen.
It was an Ottoman colony. It wasn't never a sovereign country. And then the Jews always had a claim. All Jews always spoke to it of returning. The Jews were always considered themselves to be be in the diaspora. There were Jews living there. Jews pray towards Jerusalem 3 times a day. And every one of our prayers would talk about returning to the land of Israel. This was the Jews. The Jews were always speak of returning, and eventually they had a claim, said, look, this is an empty, and by the way, to be clear, the land was mostly empty. This was a mostly empty. Is it a lie? Is it a lie? There are now 9 million people living more. If you count the Arabs, there are about 14 million people living in an area that only had 1.5 million. So I would say it was mostly empty at the time. Hang on, just a minute. It was mostly empty, and the Jews said, this is a land without an owner. It's got no owners, no sovereign. It's a colony. It's been given back to the League of Nations. It's been given up. Nobody owns it. We have a claim to this land. Now there are Arabs from the area.
You have empty land and suddenly you claim it for yourself.
Suddenly he says, this is our place that we've been pushed out, and we've been.
Let him say.
I gave you.
What's your claim?
One
to the
second.
land?
I'll give you. It's mine from the river to the sea. Whether this government like it or even the whole world like it or not, it's my country from the river to the sea.
How?
I'll tell you how. I gave you example from the religion, evidence. I gave you evidence politically, and now I'm giving you evidence medically. There's a German. Listen to me. Let me finish. There's German Medical Institute. They try to go to Palestine, to the Israelis, to do a genetic test on Israeli people. You know what the Israeli government done?
Well, I'm waiting to speak.
They took them and they sent them back to Germany. I look like Egyptian. I look like Iraqis. I look like Jordanian. I look like Algerian. I look like Moroccan. You don't look like anyone.
Exactly.
Around the countries.
There's no Palestine.
No.
You're just an
I'll tell
Arab.
you why. Because
you're an Arab, just no different to exactly what I'm saying.
No.
Like a Jordanian or Syrian.
I look
Same
because
thing.
that region.
There is no.
The genetic
Well, now
of
there
that,
is, but there
the
wasn't
genetic
before
of
the
the people of
60s.
that region, they look
just
the
waiting for
same,
him so I can
similar.
actually have a
You are not similar to us. You look different from than us, okay? But I am saying to you something, honestly, not for everyone.
makes it
For the camera,
Palestinian
even the
country.
camera looking at me. I don't care
can make
about.
some point
No.
of view, yeah.
I'm just making like a clear point. So it's very important because honestly, I am 100% sure, MI5, MI6, the British government will hear that, American whatever.
Nobody really cares.
No.
about what's
They
said
will
here.
care. They will care when I say what I'm gonna say. They will.
Everyone thinks
They
that
will.
is a-
They will
Just
care.
being silent.
Listen, they will care.
Most non-crackpot people.
They will care when they hear this from me as a Palestinian.
Okay.
I'm gonna repeat that again. There's no such a state on earth called Israel. It's Palestine from the river to the sea. And I don't care what other people think. And we're gonna get it back by any means.
I hear. Okay. I mean, you're wrong.
That's probably the end of the
Thank you.
Will you shake hands?
Shake hands.
No worries.
Very
It's pretty
good. Very
clear,
good.
yes.
Very interesting.
What makes it? In fact, even,
we're done now, we're done.
Sorry, let's,
First of all,
what
what's your
makes you
claim?
Palestinian?